back the price to that. And they must be waiting, no, it's an old, tell your father that is an old advertisement. Don't go looking for that price.
Yeah, you don't know, son.
You're wicked.
He's put us together in the group and have Formula and all of them edgy. And Brother Noel praying twice as hard for him. Eh?
Yeah,
They're feeling that drink.
Well, a good time with Brother Noel. Brother Noel, did you?
Yeah, that's reviewing some stuff.
Okay.
Okay, understood. You know, we are coming for exams. Well, Brother Noel, you ever make homeopathic remedies, yeah?
Homeopathic remedies?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what it is, yeah, they use to hold the concentration together, not alcohol?
Not necessarily.
Excuse me? What does hold it together, Brother Noel?
Oh, God.
You can use water.
Water don't hold it together like alcohol. Don't try that. Don't try the water.
It depends on what you're making.
Brother Noel, you can dance all you want. In your medicines, to keep it stable, you must have a little alcohol. Alright? So don't man talk alcohol, well, it's a must.
It's Bermuda that soak the thing in that stuff.
Gotta preserve it.
Yeah, Bermuda.
Whether they like it or not, alcohol is a preservative.
Brother Noel could say what you want. That sometimes when you put a few more drops of alcohol than you're supposed to, and it come out stronger. You know, guys.
One ecosystem, you know them. We not frightened of nobody, but we respect everybody, and we better than everybody. So we will run with anybody. No fear, no better than we. No kind, no better than we. Step on me one and say, one ecosystem to the world you say. One ecosystem will do something, do something, do something, do something, uno do something, do something. I'm not talking. One ecosystem will do something, do something, do something, do something, uno do something, do something. I'm not bag of lip chasing. Hey.
Good evening to Trinidad and Tobago. Good evening, Caribbean. Good evening, world. This is the show Beyond 2021. It's an exciting show that delves into the world of the advancing emerging technologies like digital, virtual, cryptocurrency, and blockchain technology. You know, a lot of information come forth from this show. It's the 23rd of February, and it's that time where we engage you, the viewers, on Gael, the Caribbean, and wherever you are viewing Beyond 2021. I have with me several co-hosts, Donna Samlal Singh and her husband, Chris Samlal Singh. Yes, educators, of course, experience in finance, banking. We have also Mr. Dwayne KDs, right? Very, very experienced guy. We are all here. We welcome you to this wonderful show. This evening, our topic, we are exploring the Metaverse. What is the Metaverse? How can you profit? How can you benefit? How can you enhance the experience in doing business and interacting, you know, with your fellow men? This is the advancing stage of Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg's initiative. There are other companies involved in it. So we welcome you to this very, very important show where we discuss the issues that are current, especially in the world of finance, in the digital space, in the cyberspace, in the virtual space. So, welcome everyone. I'm Donna Cliff, Mr. KDs, yes?
Noel.
Yes.
Well, thank you, Brother Noel. And of course,
welcome.
Thank you to our viewers who are taking us in via the World Wide Web. We know that we are also involved in a virtual platform, and we have persons, a multiplicity of persons from countries all over the world who tune into our show on a weekly basis, as well as the region, and of course, right here in Trinidad and Tobago. So I want to say this evening is that we recognize the fact that technology has been evolving all this time while other things have been happening, while other things have been capturing our attention. And when we look at the metaverse, we see how so many developments in technology have been happening, and people would claim to think that these things just happened last year, but they were decades in the making, decades in the development. It's just that those type of subject matters was not on our radar at all. But because of who we are and what we're involved in, we've chosen to bring the information to the masses so that they could understand this technological advancement that is the metaverse.
Well, I want to say good night to all our listeners out there. First of all, I want to issue a disclaimer. This program here, like all of our other programs, is a conversation that we have here, and we encourage you guys out there to piggyback on the conversation.
That's right.
We are not financial advisors. We do not give financial advice. So we cannot be pointed fingers at and say that we are telling you to make this and this decision. We are only sharing our experiences and telling you based on our experiences, why don't you take a look at what we are saying, because just a possibility could lie where our experience could be your experience. And that's about it. All right? This is my better half. Right? I had to say it correctly because she cooked my meals.
Yeah, sure.
Right? So, sometimes you know they say happy wife, happy life. Right? So I had to say it correctly. But what we do here in our conversation is appeal to the entrepreneurial spirit in the listeners out there. So I want to share a little experience that I had very recently for you to understand what an entrepreneurial spirit is, listeners. Please, just listen to what I say. Recently, I had a family gathering on my mother's side. Now, both my mother and my father passed away. My mother passed away long ago, when I was about 8 years old or 9. So they had a family gathering from her side. So her two sisters were here. And they are from Tobago. They're born and bred in Tobago. However, one of the sisters, when she got married, she came across to Trinidad and was living in Trinidad with her Trinidad husband. Yeah, you hear the story now. I want to show you all what an entrepreneurial spirit is, so please listen. In 1963, a hurricane passed through Tobago. Apparently, the name of it was Hurricane Flora. Some of the elder persons might very well remember the name, Hurricane Flora. And I understand that it mashed down the majority of Tobago. My aunt's husband, who had an eye out for opportunities in business, said, listen, we need to go to Tobago and live, because Tobago is going to require lumber and they're going to require material to build back the houses in Tobago. Now, he knew nothing about the hardware industry. All he saw was an opportunity whereby if he positioned himself, he stood to benefit. So he and my aunt, as my mother's sister, came back from Trinidad back to Tobago and set up shop. My aunt informed me the first day that they opened, a person came in who was his friend. I think the person's name was Barney Scott.
Did you tell him it was a hardware that open?
Yeah, it's a hardware.
Yeah.
Sorry, my wife let him know it's a hardware that was open.
Yes, because they felt that Tobagonians, of course, would need to rebuild.
Right. So you open a hardware, not knowing anything about the hardware industry, open a hardware because he saw the opportunity to be able to be of service. And once you can be of service to mankind, you are going to benefit.
Bless.
His friend came and bought a half pound of nails on that first day. That was 23 cents at the time. That was the only sale he made for the day. The following days, sales weren't much better. However, they stuck it through. My aunt showed me where for the first 7 years of operations, he could not even pay her a salary. So what they would do is that she would work, do the bookkeeping, and he would do whatever it is he had to do. Of course, he made endless errors because he didn't know anything about the hardware industry, but he tried to learn. And anytime they had an anniversary or a special occasion, the both of them would dress up in the finest way, finest evening gown and suit, and light the candles at home, and eat a simple meal and pretend that they were at a luxury place eating a 5-course meal. And while they're eating, they're saying, don't worry, we are going to be doing this one day. We are going to be. So they were visualizing, whilst for the first 7 years they had nothing. Understand what I'm saying? Well, to make a long story short, that hardware, well, they have sold the hardware since because they became elderly. But that hardware still exists as the oldest existing hardware carrying the same name. For those in Tobago who know independent stores, that is the hardware.
And that's the loving history that it came from.
Yep, independent stores. Yeah. All right? And when my uncle died, my aunt is still alive, as I said. I remember a number of persons, I was told a number of persons came up to my aunt and I was telling her, they thank God for independent stores. Because were it not for independent stores, they would not have been able to build their houses. Why? They weren't in a position to acquire loans from the bank. And independent stores provided credit facilities and they were able to get material on credit and build their house and then pay back. Understand, all my uncle and aunt operated on was not the knowledge now, but just recognizing an opportunity. And we are here sharing just an opportunity with you guys. We have come from one ecosystem, but we know, unlike my uncle who operated in the dark in the beginning, we operated in the dark in the beginning 5 years and 6 years ago when we first came on board. You who we are reaching out to now won't be operating in the dark because you'll be benefiting from our mistakes, our experiences that we would have gone through.
So when we started, how many cryptocurrencies was out there at the time? About 500?
It would have been less than 1,000 at the time.
And now it has crossed how much?
Last count is about 13,000.
Right. In cryptocurrencies.
In cryptocurrencies.
So the rest of the world mad, or we mad?
Right. I have a couple other stories, but maybe I could share that as we go along during the conversation. But I just want listeners to understand, all you need to see is that you want a better life and that there may be an opportunity that could provide it. Grab hold of the opportunity. And that is all we're here to talk about. Take it away, other host.
Yes. So important, Cliff, to capitalize on opportunity, especially in a time of crisis.
Well,
you know, we have talked before about the Chinese character for crisis. Also present that whole experience of gaining opportunities, right? So the metaverse, we're discussing the metaverse. What really is the metaverse? The metaverse is a combination of two words, meta and verse. And meta have to do with beyond the physical realm, entering into the virtual space. And of course, verse have to do with the universe. So we exist on planet Earth, you know, within our solar system as a planet. Actually, it's a kind of drifting planet, almost to the edge. And in the universe, we are in the Milky Way universe. That's over 100 million stars. Imagine that, the Milky Way galaxy. And there's so much to explore in the universe. I mean, it baffles scientists to explore. So while we are in this physical space, there's also that virtual space, which is now being called the metaverse. In other words, it's a cyberspace. It's a space that is created on the internet. The internet lays the foundation for that experience where we can interact with one another. You can send photos, you can send messages, you can make calls, you can run business ads and so on. The metaverse now is changing and engaging that space where virtually you can interact in a greater way, much more than just sending out a video or sending out a voice note or a message, or peer. It involves what is called artificial intelligence. It involves virtual reality, augmented reality. Some people call it mixed realities. And what it is doing, it is creating that space where we can interact as if it were real. That's why it was called virtual. So things like emotions are able to be expressed, and you have what they call avatars of yourself being created in that digital space. So if you can go to, like, for instance, what we do here with Zoom, right? This is like a precursor before the metaverse.
All right, but Noel,
Or let's say Google Meet. See, there are different platforms through which we can come. Go ahead.
let me say something.
Yeah.
The word metaverse, I only heard about it recently. However, from what I understand, it came out of something called virtual reality. Am I right?
Yeah. Yes.
Now, I had been exposed to virtual reality some 14, 15 years ago. Now, I am sure it existed even before I was exposed to it.
Yeah.
I remember, however, what I had been exposed to, it came with some downsides to it, in that persons who had gone into it, a number of them sort of became trapped in it. You understand? So you just now spoke about emotions, all right?
Yeah.
So that what happened is that because it's so real inside of there, it's like, all right, guys who listening might remember when they first brought out these 3D cinemas. I think you'd put on a special glasses and you'd watch a screen.
I was about to ask that because remember we saw a movie with Mr. Bean. I think Mr. Bean was the actor, and he had on these glasses.
Right.
And he was walking
To make
through
it
a
look
house.
even more real, but you could even go back further than that.
Right.
If you remember the movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger, Total Recall. You all remember if you all remember the movie Total Recall, whereby you choose the character that you want to be. They made a follow-up to the show with Colin Farrell acting the role. But Total Recall, the first one at Schwarzenegger. Now, that is with he and Sharon Stone, if I remember. I used to be a cinema buff, so I could identify with movies. And then you choose the character you want. And according to the movie, he did not know the difference between the character he assumed and when he came out of character. So the challenge that we have is that, and I want persons to understand that virtual reality and even metaverse, you have to understand what it is about because it has the downside to it. So the only way you can tiptoe around these downsides, you have to be aware as to what the pros to it in order to tiptoe around the cons. All right? You cannot get away from this metaverse because if I'm telling you virtual reality existed way before 15 years ago, I'm telling you about since Total Recall days, right? And I'm telling you how much years ago, and we now morphed into the metaverse. So you know that there's no stopping, right?
Can we say the same thing for cryptocurrency? Because you realize there's no stopping.
Of course, there's no stopping, right? We didn't want to get into that as yet, right? But what Brother Noel is saying is that the metaverse, it brings, you choose what you want and you get into that, it's like a role play, and you actually assume the persona of where you are. All right. I could pause here. Brother Noel, have I gone beyond or stepped out of the zone that you wanted to talk about?
No. We exploring the metaverse. All of us have to be in the discussion. I've just give a preface, really. You know, there are various aspects to the metaverse, and certainly what you're seeing there is one aspect of it. So we can all jump into the discussion. We can also look at the slides that we have about the metaverse, and of course introduce our first video. All of that, we have to do.
But Brother Noel, can I ask a question before we bring in that first video?
Sure.
Metaverse is, I'm just thinking of something. When you're playing gaming, that's a metaverse aspect as well, because I see my son and they play gaming, and they are actually the person in the game that is doing whatever it is. If it's a battle or whatever. Is it the same thing?
Well, that's part of it. Gaming is one aspect in which
one aspect of it. Okay.
Yeah, the advances.
Right, because the Korean movies have a lot of gaming, and you're seeing where they actually take on the persona of the person who is in the battle or the person who's in the gaming show. I got you. Okay. Yeah. Do we have time to do the video now? Yes, we do. So can we do it now so we can get a look at it? Let's look at it.
Facebook is planning to rebrand itself with a new name to focus on the metaverse. South Korean millennials and Gen Z are also gathering in virtual alternative worlds. The term metaverse is fast becoming a buzzword in tech and business. But do you know what it means? Here's Reuters' Elizabeth Howcroft.
So the word metaverse is quite a broad term, but generally it refers to online spaces that allow people to interact in a more immersive way than a traditional website. This could be through the use of virtual reality, so wearing a VR headset, but people also use the term metaverse to refer to virtual environments where you have an avatar, a little cartoon person representing yourself, and you can walk around and interact with other people's avatars, like in a video game.
Fans of the metaverse see it as the next stage in the development of the internet.
Your different monitors.
CEO Mark Zuckerberg said in July that Facebook will transition from being a social media company to a metaverse company in the next 5 years. They've already invested heavily in developing virtual and augmented reality headsets and glasses, and will reportedly create 10,000 jobs in the European Union to bring their metaverse plans to life.
We shouldn't really have to physically be together to feel present or collaborate or brainstorm.
And Facebook is certainly not alone. Other investors and companies are getting excited about being a part of the next big thing. The term metaverse is popular in Silicon Valley, with Microsoft also talking about converging the digital and physical worlds.
Because of the global health crisis, over the past 18 months, more people have been working from home and going to school remotely, spending a lot more time online and missing out on human interaction. At the moment, we connect with people who aren't physically near us by going to websites such as social media platforms or using messaging apps and video calls. But now some people think there's more demand for online spaces where people's interactions can be more multidimensional and lifelike, allowing people to immerse themselves in digital content rather than simply viewing it.
There is also a specific type of metaverse which uses blockchain technology, the same technology that's behind Bitcoin. One of such blockchain-based virtual worlds is Decentraland. In there, users can buy digital assets such as clothes and even land using cryptocurrencies. Fashion companies are noticing the trend, experimenting with making virtual clothing which people's avatars can wear in metaverse environments. While the metaverse offers a new space for people to socialize, trade, game, and even attend music concerts, right now it's still no comparison to the real world.
So you might have seen science fiction films that are set in fully fledged metaverses or alternate digital.
Yeah. I mean, the point that you made just before we went to the video, where you were expressing the fact that, listen, what about virtual gaming? Your sons are involved in virtual gaming. And of course, the avatar, the character that they assume, most of the time you're seeing is either some gun blazing character or some skillful ninja that is manipulating the environment. So essentially now you are being put in the middle of your own virtual reality. I know we have another video forthcoming a little later down, but we express the fact that, listen, it's as though, let's say you're in a rundown apartment. Through virtual reality, you can now create a sense of having an apartment, a loft apartment or a penthouse apartment, being able to get up to the scenery you want to see to your left or to your right or above or below, Now, the danger in that is you are interacting with this virtual world, but you live in the real world, right? And so, of course, just like anything else, this virtual reality has to be financed, right? This virtual reality, you have to be able to have your internet bills covered, have your rent or your mortgage covered, to be able to sit in your own place, to enjoy this virtual reality experience. So it takes us back to the point where Cliff said at the beginning of the show, opportunity. We need to recognize opportunities. Now, we've been talking about developments, technological developments on our program for the last year plus. We have been personally involved in this emerging opportunity. When they talk about Decentraland and some of these other digital platforms that utilize the virtual technology, along with Decentraland comes tokens to be used in that literal community or that metaverse. And of course, we understand through the advent of regulations which are forthcoming in relation to cryptocurrency, it's happening all across the world. Eventually, everybody who has to participate in one of those ecosystems, just like ours, is going to want to have a currency that appreciates rather than depreciates, that doesn't fluctuate, that isn't subject to inflation. And they want to be able to go through these different dimensions, these virtual dimensions, and be able to have accessibility and usability, And so I love where it's going. And I need to hear more from Brother Noel and yourself.
Yes. The whole concept, Dwayne and Donna and Cliff and viewers there, the whole concept is to make life easier, to make life more exciting, to make life more transparent, to have less corruption. So what they're doing really is we are having parallel worlds. We're having the real world, which we interact with, but there are limitations. For instance, years ago, we had the donkey cart. Today, we have cars, we have electric vehicles, we have hybrids, gas and electric. You don't go back to the donkey cart. Long ago, they had pigeons to maybe communicate, to send some message. Now we have telephones, and long ago we had the rotary phone. Now we have
the cable. You have what you call the smartphone. And smartphone would be part of that technology as well.
Okay, mobile phones.
Right.
So, yes, as Cliff was talking about the virtual reality headset that you'll put on, everything is advancing. And while Facebook and the other social media platforms have, progressed to a certain point, as far as communication and interaction is concerned, the advance continues to take place. And the metaverse is that virtual space. It is that new universe where we can communicate digitally. So emotions will be able to express in a better way, right? Business will function different. Today, most people stay at home. They go to the office maybe 1 or 2 days. And that is what is changing right now in the digital space. So it is very comprehensive, not just for communication or gaming, but things like real estate, medicine.
But guys, I want to disagree with the lady who said just now It can't compete with the real world. I think that's what she ended up saying,
Yeah,
right?
that's what she ended up saying.
And I want to disagree with that because I remember when in my early 20s, I used to go to the turf club, to not the turf club, you know where they have where you go in and you make your bets and that kind of thing, right? And the world inside it, that was like a little world because you have screens showing you different horse racing, different football games, different other kinds of sports all around. And it was like a different world inside here. I had gone into a casino when I was in Florida, 3 years ago, just before the pandemic. And when you go inside here, it's a different world.
It's true.
I talking about, I seen elderly people who could barely walk properly. They just want to reach the seat.
That's
No, you could gamble from your terminal, but it is not like the same feeling as coming inside the place, boy, and lapping up that environment that they have. So that when you leave now, you disoriented. Why?
Your mind's still in that world.
Exactly, you're still there. So I am suggesting that as advancements being made, after a while, that becomes your real world, and coming back here. I remember my wife used to play a game years ago. What's this stupid game you used to play? Sims. Right? Now when I ask her, what is you addicted to this game for? She said, boy, because you could put on different kinds of dresses. Right, and that's her words. She could create a world, the kind of house that she wanted to live in, the kind of clothes she created her world. Now, maybe from the creation that you're creating there, it could propel into your present existence. But because you get caught up in your we might call it fictitious or imaginative, but is a desire that you have that you could now be satisfied. You could fulfill that desire.
Well, let's put a pin in it now. Go to a break and we could talk and come back and chat more about Metaverse because it's a learning exposure for me as well. So let's take a break. We'll be back. Join us. Let's enjoy.
Get started now. Get started with your One Academy package. Get started with your starter package. It's only $1,600 TT. Get your financial education from the One Academy. Although it's a beginner package, the information you're going to get from your One Academy starter package, you would have more knowledge than 90% of the world's population on finance for just $1,600 TT. Let's create a revolution. Let's spread the epidemic of our One Academy, One Life. Get it today.
Welcome to the Antediluvian Nature Center of Life Extension and Health Recovery. Coming from the Garden of Eden, the Antediluvian Nature Center brings to you breakthrough medicines and anti-aging technologies for all ailments and diseases in the body, nutritional therapies, naturopathic treatments, as we create opportunities of hope and celebrate longevity. And remember, the healing is from God.
Do you know? What am I speaking about? Do you know what is cryptocurrency? Do you know what is blockchain technology? Are you aware of what we currently face on a regular basis with quantitative easing, fractional reserve lending? Do you know? I am inviting you to come out of the financial darkness and into financial light. The only way for us to achieve that is with education. And one particular type of education is what I'm speaking about. I'm asking you to join the One Academy. It is a financial revolution of teaching regarding introduction to finance, cryptocurrency, blockchain technology, helping you understand the world of money and what is money. What is money? Money is simple. It is what we agree upon to exchange for goods and services. If you want full comprehension, join the One Academy.
When I'm training for professional competitions, men and women always ask me for advice. To women, I say push yourself harder than you ever have before and go beyond your comfort zone. Focus on your goals. Men, if I am willing to push myself to become Mr. Olympia in 2022, then I only have one thing to say to you. Bring your
full 100.
Here we go again.
Good day all, my name is King James, part of the One Life Network Caribbean team. If you have no knowledge of what is cryptocurrency, blockchain technology, I'm inviting you to get started with this concept. It is $1,610 TT for you to participate in a financial curriculum that will help shape your world and your future, but better and greater than that. In our curriculum, there's no school that teaches our children about finance. This is a unique opportunity for you to get involved in practical and theory. You need the best of both worlds. The theory we offer allows you to participate in the practical. Position yourself strategically. Get a starter package from one of your local IMAs somewhere near to you, some cousin, friend, uncle, some loved one. Do not hold back yourself from getting started with our organization. One Life for More Life, One Academy. Join the financial revolution.
Great. So welcome back to our viewers on Beyond 2021. And in this segment, we want to look at the opportunities, the various money-making opportunity that comes along with the metaverse, right? In particular, I would like to zero in because in my research of the topic, I was looking at something called NFTs or non-fungible tokens, right? And these are intangible items, both digital and otherwise, that are now being pegged to the metaverse using blockchain technology, right? And also cryptocurrency. So NFTs now are just, a simple thing as a JPEG. JPEGs are being sold for hundreds of thousands of US dollars. And when I saw it, Cliff and Dana, because I'm involved in several other opportunities and I'm also involved in content creation as a VP PR for Toastmasters. So one of the things I do is that I make flyers and stuff like that. And immediately after looking at this particular video, I was motivated to create a piece of digital art that I could now upload onto the internet and be able to sell this item. And also I can pre-program it to be able to collect royalties on future sales. So no matter how many times this item or this particular digital work of art changes hands, I am assured of collecting royalties as it travels from person to person, from the ownership of one person to another. And that's just one opportunity. I know Brother Noel has a plethora of information and he can share with us some of the other money-making opportunities beside NFTs in the virtual space.
Of course, gaming, work, travel, exploration, education, real estate, investment, they could go on and on. Just how we conduct business in the real world, the metaverse is allowing us that space. The technology is providing us in such a way where exactly what you do in the real world, you can do in the metaverse. Just like how we have e-commerce. Now people stay at home, they don't have to travel and go here and go there. You know, they will arrange for either delivery or pickup.
Right.
You know, when a person purchases an item. The metaverse is just advancing that at a rapid pace, and it's allowing the technology is so immersive so that you are there in that space. You feel comfortable.
Right.
The emotions are expressed. You're able to see one another. There's even
But I think that we're talking about a parallel world.
Yes.
Yeah, like a parallel universe with the same people doing different things, and so I mean, it making you think like if it's magic happening in this world now. Things are changing so rapidly.
Exactly. Hello. Repeat. Yes.
Yeah, because we lost you there, a little technology, a little metaverse problem.
All right. All right. So there's something called holograms. You're able to actually create that as well. Right? Yes. You know, you can actually go into a store, view an item, turn the item around, look at the ingredients in the item. All of that is possible in the metaverse. You can have tours. You can have tours.
One of the examples I saw, Brother Noel, was a virtual work of art that was actually shown. So this designer created an intricate pattern that was actually moving, cycling, turning, twisting. And so that is a hologram of a holographic piece of art. And of course, the other participants who were online at that time were able to share the experience. So even though they were in different locations, one person captured the image and shared it with the entire group. So that image now, even though it was in a digital space, in a particular, let's say, Decentraland, right? It was crafted in Decentraland. That experience now can be shared with other persons who find themselves on that particular digital platform. So we're all now seeing the same thing.
But wait, let me ask you something. Are they selling these virtual art and stuff? Are people selling it?
Yeah, the NFTs. That is what I was talking about.
Right, because I remember looking at the NFTs and realizing that those are the things that they are selling for a lot of money.
Yeah.
How does this metaverse set impact life, impact people? Because okay, if I do a piece of digital art and whatever, virtual, whatever, I put it out there and I'm telling you a certain amount of money for it, and you're paying for it, but then I could still capture it because it's digital. I could take a picture of it, take a screenshot or whatever, as you just said. So how is this going to impact us?
So this is where the blockchain technology comes in, because these things are actually pegged to a blockchain. So that is why it can be tracked and traced from owner to owner. And when a certain price is paid for it.
So there's security in the backup because blockchain offers that security.
Yes. So
this is new for me, guys, and I'm telling you, I'm excited about it. Yeah. I feel like I want to go and do some gaming and become right? No, because this is the way the world is going. And let me tell you this. People, you need to keep your eyes on what is happening. Right. Because listen, the world will pass us straight up, we wouldn't even know it left. So many things are happening, so many brand new things. Technology is creating, as I just said, it was no joke, because that came into my mind, a parallel system, a parallel universe.
But when you said that,
just like how money is changing.
I agree.
Yes.
Money is changing. So now we are in the cryptocurrency space. It's the same thing with the metaverse. The communication is just advancing, becomes more interactive, more immersive. You know, so
when
multiple fields. Yeah.
When Donna made the inference, it took me straight back to Ivan and Michelle Mark. When Michelle does her presentation, she makes her presentation based on the scale of two economies.
That's so true.
And so it took me right back home to what we as visionaries have been really putting out there to John public. Because listen, I know that it's just a few of us. It's just a few of us saw the wisdom in getting involved in this community, in getting involved in this global project. of commerce where everyone has this common medium of exchange that appreciates, right? That transcends border to border, where I can stay in Trinidad and Tobago because my account is verified, and I can make a purchase in Italy, I can make a purchase in the UK, I can make a purchase in on the continent, in different countries on the continent, whether it be Nigeria, Uganda, Japan, South America, our closest neighbors. They are heavily now integrating on our platform and creating usability. There's something I want to mention here to our viewers. Recently, on our platform, we had a service provider that is into dialysis coming onto our platform, and of course, they are providing dialysis, and they are accepting our cryptocurrency that's right here in Trinidad and Tobago. So, as a goodwill gesture, one of my my colleagues in the business, namely Judah Praise Football Coaching School, is willing to sponsor one dialysis treatment at this facility and is footing the bill in 100% cryptocurrency. So to our viewers, those who might be experiencing this type of challenge financially, and you're not able to provide that service for your loved one on this occasion, you can reach out to us. We usually have the numbers up on the screen. Then I don't know if you could utter the numbers for them, because it escapes me at this point in time.
No problem. We're going to give them Sarah number?
Yes, please. Right, just to be able to make contact. And of course, folks, genuine cases, I know, it may be oversubscribed, but we're going to deal with it on a first come, first serve basis. So congratulations to the needy person who would access this. And of course, it's being funded through the Judah Praise Football Coaching School in San Fernando under the auspices of Stephen Connell himself. So I want to thank you for that.
Special thanks to Stephen for doing this. Our contact Sarah, 744-5503. You may be the one to get it free. You don't know. Life has a lot of openings and a lot of opportunities. 744-5503. Call Sarah for information. I am looking at what is happening in life. My husband said something about me earlier. I would play Sims. And in Sims, I would build house, I would fashion. Oh Lord, I was like, hello. And I found, my children showed me a way where you could get money from Sims and become a millionaire. So I did that. Yes. It was called cheating, but who cared? You were a millionaire, you didn't mind getting there. And the thing about it is, what I'm seeing happening through Metaverse is the world, it comes back to say that the world is continuing to change. And some of us will wake up one morning, and maybe my husband might look for me and I might be on the other side in Metaverse, or I might look for him and he might be, or we might have a virtual home someplace, and we might say we're going for a vacation and we go to this virtual land and we sit there and we have fun time, and then we come back to this time reality. The thing about it is, all of this might sound like madness, but you know something? To our viewers, the world is changing and things are happening that we may not be fully aware of. What is the impact for us in the future? Where is this going to take us? How is this going to affect lives, people, families? You understand? Because maybe we could say we want to go to Europe. Because I remember looking, I don't know if Cliff remembered, looking at an Archie ad, and the girl was sitting, Archie comic books, and she was sitting down by a computer and saying, Mom, I can't talk now, school is about to start. And that was printed years ago, and she was in front of a computer. We are looking at things that people have said was going to happen. What is going to happen? Maybe Cliff and I are going to go to Europe next year, and we sit down here, and next thing you know, we're in Europe, and we didn't even get on a plane. Is that what is happening? Am I right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they are facilitating that. Tours, virtual tours. So you're able to visit a shop, you can visit a country, you can form an operation
historical
You can have
sites
like
and
a
so on.
conference, like how we have this Zoom conference here, where it's
Yes.
much more interactive, it's much more immersive.
Wow.
You know,
Wow. I made that as a thought because that's what you opened my mind to. But it is true. So we go to places, we have dinner, we eat, and then when we come back, we right here sitting down home on a chair.
Yeah. What we're having is we're having experiences.
That's it. Because we will see the real things. I like that, Dwayne. I like what you just said. Because we will experience the real thing. So if I say I want to go to Venice, I could go into a boat on the water and everything and experience. Am I right?
You see that?
Wow.
I remember in my studies, there's a certain part of the brain that is commonly referred to as the pleasure center. Right? And if your pleasure center senses the emotions, that is all that your body picks up, you know. Try to understand. So if by being married to Donna, I am happy,
all your pleasure,
it's because my pleasure center has picked up that emotion. Likewise, if you have when you have a serious quarrel and you're vexed, and is your pleasure center. So just imagine all that you had to go through physically just for the pleasure center of your brain to receive that emotion. So now you are short-circuiting via the metaverse of going through all this thing of having to go and line up in an airport, go through the COVID test protocols, to be able to enter another man's country, to experience the same kind of restrictions that you had to go through and all the difficulties and having to sit down and wait in the airport for hours. Those of us who have traveled abroad know it is a tough month.
Yes.
But why?
The only thing I can do is shop, because I won't be able to bring it back with me.
No. I like to understand what is shopping doing?
You hear what he said? He said they can shop as well.
What is the shopping doing for you?
It's affected my pleasure center.
Correct. So that the mere fact that through the metaverse, your pleasure center is satisfied. You understand? You don't have to do it physically because your physical action is just to support the main role of your pleasure center.
It's really mind-blowing for me. You guys have just opened a whole new sort of a world of thinking, new thinking. Because just imagine we could travel. You just said it, no lining up, no nothing. You're spending money for a plane ticket. Or maybe I could go on a plane and all through the metaverse. And experience in first class.
You can fly.
What about that? So you can buy a plane, that's right.
And
yes, I love that.
And in time to come, you not have a physical wife. You could have a metaverse wife.
I could have a metaverse as well.
Go with all the problems that come. Understand that? No, listen, that's the way it's going to be coming.
Wow, that could be exciting and frightening, Brother Noel. What do you think?
Yes. There are some drawbacks, just like there are drawbacks right now with all technologies. But the issue is we are morphing, we are changing, we are growing, we are advancing in the technology.
Yes. But we have another video we wanted to show. We think we can be able to show it quickly. Because I think we need to really let people see that other video. They need to know more. So can we have that video coming on now?
And finally, as the digital and physical worlds come together, we are creating an entirely new platform layer, which is the metaverse. We're bringing people, places, and things together with the digital world in both the consumer space as well as in the enterprise. Take, for example, Dynamics 365 Connected Spaces, which we are announcing this morning. Connected Spaces provides a new perspective on the way people move and interact in physical spaces, whether it's a retail store or a factory, or even how organizations manage health and safety in a hybrid work environment. You can do analytics, you can get real-time insights, you can run simulations, you can automate routine tasks. And when we talk about the metaverse, we're describing both a new platform and a new application type, similar to how we talked about the web and websites in the early 90s.
Imagine you put on your glasses or headset and you're instantly in your home space. It has parts of your physical home recreated virtually. It has things that are only possible virtually. And it has an incredibly inspiring view of whatever you find most beautiful.
Hey, are you coming?
Yeah, just gotta find something to wear. All right, perfect. Oh, hey, Mark. Hey, what's going on?
Hi.
Mark. What's up, Mark? Whoa, we're floating in space? Who made this place? It's awesome.
Right? It's from a creator I met in LA.
This place is amazing.
Boz, is that you?
Of course it's me. You know I had to be the robot, man.
I thought I was supposed to be the robot.
Whoa.
I knew you were bluffing.
Hey, wait. Where is Naomi?
Let's call her.
Naomi.
Hey, should we deal you in?
Sorry, I'm running late, but you've got to see what we're checking out. There's an artist going around Soho hiding AR pieces for people to find.
3D street art? That's cool.
Across the Microsoft Cloud, from Azure IoT to Azure Digital Twins to Connected Spaces and Microsoft Mesh, we're building the Metaverse intrinsics, the Metaverse platform for you to build upon. In a sense, the Metaverse enables us to embed computing into the real world and to embed the real world into computing, bringing real presence to any digital space. For years, we've talked about creating this digital representation of the world, but now we actually have the opportunity to go into that world and participate.
A brain full, guys, a brain full.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful.
There's a teaser. We call a teaser there.
We have to bring back some more Metaverse next week. Maybe we'll do a Metaverse show. And we have people sitting and with us right here have a virtual meeting, a virtual presentation. That would be so nice. You have really opened my mind to looking at the world in a different way. I was watching Korea. I love Korean movies. That's my next thing. I was watching at this gaming show, and I was looking at the people creating this world in gaming and how they were living, getting married and everything. And then when they come out, the students in school, and I am saying, but hey, look at that. But now you just opened up my mind to understand what is happening. Listen, this is awesome.
Mind you, those persons who might want to be, practicing polygamy, remember the blockchain takes a record. So once you have marriage number one and it's registered on the blockchain, you might run into problems depending on when
during the IRL killjoy, you come and pop people bubble now.
We can become a Muslim. And you understand? So he can have a few of us. I'm happy I can sit back and put up my foot and let somebody else cook and wash and fix it up. No, but it really opens your mind to a lot of opportunities that this could present to people, to the world. I mean, I'm actually excited thinking that Tiff and I could sit here and we could go to Europe, experience it. You said it well, Katie's. Experience it. I'm going to know what you said. It's in everything. As Dwayne said, I can fly a plane and all if I want to fly the plane to go there. That is so interesting.
Yeah, but understand something. There must be certain disciplines that you must adopt to be able to exist in that. Otherwise, you're going to lose yourself.
Correct.
You are going to lose your identity. You would not need, because of that, you would not need to have friends, social contact, physical contact. Because you already have your friends inside you. Remember, guys, once the pleasure center of your brain is satisfied, that's it. The body does not have to do anything else. Once the pleasure center meets its requirement.
A real interesting thing.
All right? So, all we're saying is understand the world that is coming upon you. Otherwise, you will be lost. And I think that's what Brother Noel and Dwayne have been trying to show you tonight. Don't say it's too difficult. It is coming. You can't get around it. I've shown you in the past where films have brought it in. All right? And whether you choose to accept it or not, the mission is going to be there. Right? It's like Mission Impossible, when it comes out, understand it. So guys, I look forward to next week. Hope we could discuss this some more.
Yes.
Right?
I know Katie's and brother know have to say something because you see, the way I look at it, I am really glad for this opportunity to share the world's new openings. I'm really happy. Thank you, brother Noel and Katie. I appreciate this a lot.
And in the words of Edwin Wilson, position yourself.
That's right. I love that. Position yourself. We are educating. We are sharing. Come, join us next week, Wednesday. We don't know. We might have a virtual meeting with you in a true metaverse.
Yes.
We can have dinner together through metaverse.
And just consider what you'll be paying with when you're on that metaphor. The one cryptocurrency.
All right. I love that.
See you
I
next
love
week.
that.
See you next
Take
week.
care. Be blessed and be safe.
All the best. Yes.
One ecosystem, you know them. We not frightened of nobody, but we respect everybody, and we better than everybody. So we will run with anybody. No fear, no better than we. No kind, no better than we. Step on me one and say, one ecosystem to the world. You say, one ecosystem will do something, do something, do something, do something. Uno do something, do something. I'm not talking. One ecosystem will do something, do something, do something, do something. Uno do something, do something. I'm not bag of lip chasing. Hey.